Hey, it's your Filthy Casual, and if you're checking out some of our recent deck profile videos, well, it's not deck profile videos, but we're doing right now. What we're currently doing now is just a pick of our top 10 favorite decks of all time. Currently, well, who knows? It'll be all still currently. Who knows? We'll update it. For what I have on the number 10 is Odd Ice, because considering that when I look around my friends, where they have their own special type of ice dragon deck, I want to see if I can find my own. Where like my friend Andrew has the red ice deck, Scott Felver blue ice, Manny galaxy ice, and with Odd Ice just being by itself, I was like, why not? And then when I tried out the deck, tried out the whole deck itself, along with the Performance Pal archetype and the Pendulum Magician, I was intrigued with how much combos it can do, and especially the signature monster itself, Odd Ice Pendulum Dragon, dealing double damage. That's like, damn. And then when there wasn't an extra deck monster deck zone, and you could special summon as many monsters and have at least 2 level 6 monsters and overlay them into Dragon, into that one Utopia XE monster that reduces all your monsters' attack to 0. And then when you have Odd Eyes out, how much damage could he deal? 25? No. 5,000? Oh yeah. At the number 9 spot was one of my classic was something I started was a classic deck I was learning when Xyz was a thing, and this one would probably surprise you, and it's gadgets. Reason why I have gadgets in this list is because I wanted to see if I could configure something just to learn the whole XZ mechanic. And considering that gadgets was there, considering that they're level 4s machines and they can pretty much just search each other, and there was excuse me, and there was like a lot of supports that can special summon level 4 monsters like Goblin Dirk, or monsters that special summons themselves like Kageko Kage. That you instantly just get a level 4 Xyz monster. And then if you pop, you can also check out one of our videos that I did a very long time ago, which is probably really old, which was like a messed up combination of a Pendulum gadget variant that I did. It was like a mix between Dynamis, Trap Tricks, Gadget, and Performing Mage. Well, back then it was Performing Mage before Performing Mages got hit, but it was also Performing Pal. But yeah, it did so many combos where I had a board of an army of, well, not a board, but I want to say an army of Xyz monsters where I can at least deal enough damage to my opponent, and I would even ran Utopia the Lightning in this variant. At the number 8 spot that I have for one of my favorite main Xyz deck that I like to use is Raid Raptors. In a way, it's sort of like how my friend Scott runs his Cyber Dragons, where it relies on spells. Well, for mine, it runs on quick rank up magics, and it can do interesting combos, and especially with the Xyz monsters, they can punish a bunch of special summon monsters on the board, like Revolution Falcon. Hey, nice army of special summon monsters. Attack every single one and reduce them to 0. And then you have Blaze Falcon, who can destroy all your opponent's monsters and deal 500 damage. And then the level 8, like if you're going against Paleo, Satellite Falcon, when you summon, they try to Bondless or Solemn Strike. You can't. He was actually summoned with an Xyz, with a Raid Raptor Xyz, so you don't get to respond to his effect. And then one of my favorite, and then if you saw my Altergeist deck profile video, my boy Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon, just because he's basically Tower Spoon 2.0. Number 7 spot is a deck that I didn't think it would be number 7, but even though it was using one of my favorite characters, but it's Cyber Angel Herald. As much as I definitely like the deck as a whole, like where you get a lot of searching off with Ben 10, where she can search either the Herald, the Christia, and then, or heck, either something that can be any light fairy you can use to add to your play, like say either Honest or heck even the level 2 one level 2 Herald fairy. If you add, and then if you discard it off Herald, you can always bring it back when you have Ritual Sanctuary by recycling some of your spells and then special summoning it. Well, this was like another variant I did with Cyber Angel Herald. So if you have any questions, you can also look into that one. Which, who knows, maybe you'll see a future deck profile of it, especially with the new Cyber Angels coming out. Though I have mixed feelings about that one ritual monster, to be honest. But I definitely like that egg because it can search out at least the ritual spell or the ritual monster itself. Definitely the egg and the ritual. Number six. Definitely Pen Magician. Because as much as it's been a deck that's been dominant for this past year, well, actually, not really this past year, but it was dominant like somewhere around well, I think compared to last year and up to like August. As much as I like the deck, I had to agree that Astrograph would get hit, but I was surprised that it's still managing its way there even without him. And when you have, because you could use Chronograph Sorcerer nowadays just as a special summon, at least more, to do some more combos, just to set up at least a board where you can leave your board with either Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, let's see, the Zephyr Dude, the Norito, or any possibilities like when I did a while back with Invoke Pendulum Magician. Next up for this one serve a combination between number 5 and number 4 because what you're gonna see soon, or probably up next, is Thunder Dragon and Thunder Dragon Dino. Yeah, it's kind of a combination, but overall, when Dinosaurs came out, I had mixed feelings about Dinosaurs, but then when I saw some gameplay footage of it, I was like, oh damn. And the best part with UTC is that he doesn't destroy those monsters. He just sends them to the graveyard. Makes your opponent's monsters feel scared of him. But when you use his effect, he's pretty much the better BLS. And then it was sad when there was like when I tried some other variants with either Lost World or Shadow Shaddoll. Though when I recently tried Thunder Dragon Dino, the combos were actually, the deck was actually well in sync because when you use Double Evolution Pill, you can have some of the Thunder Dragon monsters effect trigger off when they get banished. At the number 3 spot is probably what you've recently seen. Definitely Altergeist. It was actually, to be honest, when I just got into the game, I wasn't much into floodgating, but which I always thought it was sort of unfair. But with the meta nowadays, it's like, how am I supposed to at least try to keep up? I mean, if I can't win, then I want to at least do something trolly to the meta. Which, when I looked into Altergeist, it was like, this may fit. This is actually something that might fit me. It's not too competitive. It's not too overall. Well, it may be overall now, but something that clicked between me and Altergeist, it's just trolly. I even took it to Pasadena. I didn't do much with it, but I at least had fun with the deck. Especially when I ran if you saw my deck profile, the 3 evenly matches, just to get some laughs out of my opponents who were like, "Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me!" Just when you thought I had one evenly match, I had another in my hand. The number 2 spot that I have in my top 10 was Merman Atlantean. At first, I managed to at least build a small budget variant of the deck when I had at least only one Abyss Megalo, but it was at the time when it was like 2014, it was really expensive. I had to let that go. But what got me interested in the deck was definitely one of the cards was Mermaid Abyssgun, because I to be honest, I actually thought she was cuter than Dark Magician Girl. But when Murma started to become cheaper, and especially with the reprints with Abystius and finally those reprints of Megalo, I'm like, hey, I can finally build Murmas again. And then when I managed to build my own variant, where it was like the going second variant and go for the OTK, I managed to at least get at least a few spots in the top, to at least in the top 8 with it. And I'm actually and with the Atlantean Dragoons back at 3, I'm actually pretty happy with Mermos being back at full power. And at the number 1 list, well, actually, before we go to the number 1 list, to the number 1, I have some few honorable mentions. One of those honorable mentions being Shadows when Duelist Alliance. Was it Duelist Alliance that Shadows came out? Okay, yeah, it was a Duelist Alliance when Shadows came out, because the deck had a lot of options to play with, other than always fusion summoning, where you can either XYZ or Synchro, because with Falco being a tuner, and at least some other monsters being level 4s, like the dragon and the lizard. I'm just gonna call it lizard because I don't remember the fucking lizard whole name. Another one that you might see in my future deck profiles, Prank Kids. With Prank Kids winning at Milan, it was interesting because hey, I picked it up because I thought it was pretty, because the artwork was pretty sick. It reminded me of Pegasus and his tunes, and they had some pretty trolly effects that you can use on your opponent's turn, where they can either destroy your opponent's back row or your opponent's monsters. And speaking of which, I was actually pretty lucky to pick up my castles before they just skyrocketed to 20, and who knows how much of those places are now. And speaking of Pegasus, one of my other honorable mentions is Toons. It was also one of my favorite decks when Dragons Unleashed was a thing, and Toon Kingdom. When I played with Toon Kingdom online, I always had a fun time playing Toon Kingdom, just playing Comic Hand, stealing the opponent's monsters, and just attacking directly. And lastly, for the number 1 spot that is still a part of that, in a way it's still a part of me, is Heroes, because it was one of my longtime favorite decks when I ran back in middle school, and it was one of my favorite decks and it was a deck that I used when I dueled my best friend Andrew, the collector, and we always had a rival. And from then on, we would always have a rivalry with his plant deck and my synchro, with his plant synchro deck and my fusion hero deck. Man, those were really good times. But there is a lot to say about heroes, but definitely one of the main deck monsters that I definitely had in my hero deck was Absolute Zero, where it was like my all-time favorite hero fusion monster, where it was basically a Raigeki, where if he was removed from the field, then he destroys all your opponent's monsters. So say, hey, activate Raigeki. Okay, Raigeki, your side of the field now. And one of my favorite combos that I did with Absolute Zero back in 2009 was I ran Turret Warrior just to tribute Absolute Zero. So when he'd come out on the board, he'd be like a 37 attack beater just to deal damage. and then now I think of it, I always had some crazy combinations with with either super polymerization, whether I can fuse from my opponent's side of the field, or activate some fusion cards that either fuse with any hero or any multi-attribute, or any monster of any attribute I wanted. Anyway, enough of me rambling going on. If anything, thank you for watching our top 10 videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, and check out our content from our other members of TVVin. And don't forget to destroy that bell just to get any upcoming videos. Thank you so much.